Hello, my name is Rekutsko and welcome back to Break Chance Memento. Now, just to be completely honest with you guys, I did do a little bit of research within the game last night because I had a lot of extra time, and while I did not record it, I found out that there are a lot, and I mean a lot, of extra stuff that you can go through here, and I missed so many cool things. Once I finish up with this main storyline, and if we happen to be able to get into romance with another character, or if it just ends in a different kind of way, I will for surely show you the extra backgrounds that I have obtained so far. And I'm going to do an extra episode just kind of showcasing that stuff. So, regardless of that, let's go ahead and jump in because we just saved Natsume, so we should be on the right track. Let's see where we're going to end up here. You know what, I'm going to use the time machine being that I've got a little bit more time. What I really want to do is, what did I do last time? I know Yukinari's keys are, I want to search, I really want to search. I'm kind of curious about this. Let me check it out. So to be honest, that book really wasn't about too much of anything, and you know what, I think I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this. I'm pretty sure we're ready to go here. I don't know how much longer we've got here, but I'm sure we're gonna find out a little bit more on what's going on, being that we finally dislodged all of the craziness. And he said he'd find me and talk to me today about everything, so I'll trust in that and wait. Sookie passes the time by sitting and thinking about what's happened in the last few weeks. I thought things were complicated enough before, but I can't believe Annie was doing so much stuff behind the scenes too. Why didn't Kiosk tell me? While Sookie is pondering this last bit, he hears a knock at his door. And I'm guessing that's Natsume. There he is! Natsume opens the door and walks into the room. He looks around a bit. Where's Chiaki? He's out, I think. Anyway, don't worry about it. Okay. He pulls Chiaki's chair away from the desk and turns it so that the chair and Shuki's are facing each other. The two brothers are facing each other directly. A tense silence flows between them for some time. Neither wants to speak first. Finally, Natsume laughs sheepishly. I don't know where to start. Why don't you start at the beginning then? Okay. Natsume takes a deep breath and then starts to tell his story. Chu Chin, where did you get your time machine? Let me think about that for a sec. Sookie tries to think back to when it all began. It was September, after Masani was killed. Though it's only been about 3 months to Sookie, it feels like an age has gone by. Why? I got mine in July. Natsume lets that sink in. You've been dealing with the echoes and murders all this time? Alone? Natsume shakes his head. There weren't murders at first. Wait, but then why did you get your time machine at all? My future self from that ultimate time stream came to me and said that your counterpart from his universe has traveled here. He said that it was going to cause serious disturbance, one he could not really predict. I was to help him with research and keep an eye on things here. That was a pretty interesting first, but lonely. I couldn't talk to anybody about what I was doing, and of course, I was the one studying science way beyond what I knew. How did you learn about all the science? The future said that you came up with a new technology even. Something about coordinates? Well, I traveled to the future. Natsume How does he what? The future? You can do that? But... Okay, hold on. Okay, I guess nobody ever said I couldn't. I just never thought of it. I can't believe I mean, I thought of it, but I thought it was just not a possibility. And I figured that, like, we would have to find something that would relate to the future, and how would we be able to do that? Essentially, we would have to get something from our future counterparts in order to travel towards the future, which was not really a thing since Kiosk, like, visited us very rarely. You mean you've just been jumping into the past all this time? Yeah! Anyway, just go on with your story. Sorry, I just Sorry for interrupting. So, at first we didn't understand about echoes. We didn't know what Fuyuki had struck in another time stream or anything like that. So, when I first saw the Fuyuki echo, I thought that the entire time travel was starting to affect my brain or something. It was only after my future self and I analyzed her more that we realized what she was. I tried to talk to her to see where the real Fuyuki had gotten to. Sookie frowns. You can't talk to those echoes. They're like robots or zombies or something. They just repeat the same things without listening to you. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Well, the first one wasn't like that, you know? She was pretty sentient. Or maybe I was just a lot more hopeful then. Anyway, when communication failed, we dispelled her, and that's when everything started. Masa died, Fuyuki's echo killed him. To be honest, I was barely holding on back then. I didn't know what to do. I was waiting for my future self to contact me when the time stream shifted, and it was nothing like it ever happened. Masa was alive and everything was fine, except I remembered. I couldn't understand what was happening until my future self came back and we both concluded that there had to have been another person with a time machine. Natsume scratches his head, looking a bit reluctant as he continues. You probably feel fooled every other time, Chu Chin. What do you mean, fooled? With your pretending to act natural and normal, I mean. You remembered everything too, of course, but you had to pretend that you didn't. You didn't want to stand out. I get that. I had to do it too, but it's both because I was in a similar situation and because I'm your older brother that I could tell that there was something not right about your behavior. I finally took note of your watch around when Chiaki died. When he was able to return, I described your watch to my future self and he confirmed that that was the same technology you'd invented. An older version of the time machine I have, so we figured out that you were the other time traveler. Naturally, Shuki's disappointed to have been found out so early, but he couldn't have not fathomed that so much around him was... that someone around him was watching... I'm sorry, my stupid thing is like in the way of this. Around him was watching him so intently. Suppressing his indignation, he continues to listen to Natsume then. He'd been watching you, and trying to figure out exactly what you're doing, how you're involved with Fuyuki, how much you know. You didn't trust me. You don't trust me now. I don't know what to think, Natsume says delicately. Delicately? Delicately? What the hell? He then sighs. Now that I'm back, it's even stranger for me. I know that I'm alive, but I can still sort of remember the time that it passed and when I was in a coma. I don't know what to believe that you had anything to do with Yukinari's death, much less Masa and Chiaki's. So what do we do now? It won't be long before my future self makes contact again. We need to wait for him and then think from there. I want you to take some time to think about what I've said. Think about what happened to you. And decide how you feel about everything. It's a lot to process, and I know I've already overwhelmed you with information. I need some time to think about everything, too. I still feel like I don't really understand anything. I've been time traveling, but I don't really understand how or why. Why is this all happening? Even as he asks, he knows the answer. Because his future self in another timeline couldn't get his life together. He couldn't escape the past and was so consumed with loneliness and despair that he risked the very fabric of time and space for his selfish whim. Natsume rises from his seat, then turns and pushes Chiaki's chair back. I hope we both get answers to our questions soon. He walks towards the door but stops as he puts his hand on the doorknob. Chu Chin, I know you must be very tired now. Please rest. I will. Natsume leaves the room without another word. Sookie exhales. Jeez, how long was I holding my breath? Feeling like a puppet whose strings have been cut, Sookie gets up and flops onto his bed face first. With everything on it, I'm sure. Didn't you really think that I had something to do with the murders? Did I? He feels strangely responsible for what has happened, knowing that it was his future self-actions that started everything in the first place. That's a terrible way to think about it, though. Feeling upset, conflicted, and adrift, Sookie closes his eyes and tries his best to sleep. Skipped right over Christmas, though I suppose they don't necessarily celebrate it, so whatever. The next day, Sookie receives a text message from his brother. He's here. I'm sure you have a lot of questions. Please come to my room as soon as you can. He wastes no time in getting to Natsume's room. Well, here we go at least. Hey, Sookie. Is it okay for us to just talk right here? Yukinari's probably going to be out for at least an hour. There shouldn't be any problems. Got it. So, how are you here? Our universes are merging. It's a bad thing, sure, but it does have its benefits. Natsume here can leave me mementos, sort of like Hansel and Gretel leaving breadcrumbs to follow. Not all of them last years, though, so it's a bit tricky getting to exactly when I want to be. It's some notes from today that I hid in the school building, and it just so happened that nobody ever found them. That sounds really annoying. We have to work with what we've got. Time is complex. It's also funny, so we have to speak quickly. Even with the merging timelines, we still have to be proper coordinates mapped in order to travel between time streams. I was able to calculate the coordinates for this true universe, which is why I can come here. However, our main goal has been to locate this universe's Fuyaka, and we haven't been able to figure out where she is. One theory was that you were involved with Fuyaka somehow. Perhaps one of her echoes spoke to you, or you were somehow able to speak to Fuyaka herself. Theory? Natsume shakes his head. Sookie hasn't been in contact with Fuyaka. What? But that's not possible. Who gave you your first time machine then? I got it from a guy named Kiosk. He came from the future. Kiosk? Do you recognize the name? It's a common enough name to be sure, but I don't know of anyone on our team with that name. There's no way this Kiosk should have access to a time machine. It's freaking Sookie in the future. It has to be. There's no way that it can't be. Not in my universe anyway. The thing is, Shookie's timeline is a prototype. It's the same as the one his future self stole from the lab. So, you got the time machine from yourself? No, it was Kiosk. He doesn't look anything like me. He's this crafty looking guy with brown hair. I mean, it actually looks pretty black to me. The future Natsume shook his head, looking puzzled. I know I fucked that up. I have no idea who that is, but perhaps this Kiosk is the one who's involved with Fuyaka, or the other you. I have a feeling it's Sookie. It has to be Sookie. He's told me that he was working with you in the future. He said that you two both decided that I should have the watch. Definitely not true. What else did he tell you? What was his purpose? I don't know, but he told me that I had to save people, that they were being murdered, that they were supposed to die. His story doesn't match up with yours at all. I mean, there was never actually a serial killer in the first place, was there? No. All of those deaths were caused by Fuyaka's echoes. This Kiosk guy lied to you. I knew it. I knew he had to do something with this. Just what was he trying to get at? Oh, you know, mementos have been disappearing from my time machine. What do you mean? Well, after I saved anyone, the memento I used to save them disappeared. Just that memento and nothing else. I asked Kiosk about it, but he dismissed it as a glitch. What if he's actually been taking them? I didn't think it was possible, but you store memento data on your laptop, right? That's right. It's very easy to pull information out of the time machines. But what is it? I haven't heard from Kiosk in a really long time. He stopped communicating with me. Communicating? He used to send me little messages on my time machine. Sookie shows him last message from Kiosk about Yukinari's murder. I should have doubted him, but he gave me this and I was so focused on saving everyone that I never really stopped to think deeper about what was going on. I mean, I can't really blame you for wanting to do the things he did, though. But what if he hasn't been communicating with you lately? What are we going to do? Oh, but if he hasn't, we've been approaching this problem entirely the wrong way. What do you mean? We were trying to learn more about Fuyaka from her echoes. We thought we could use them to get to the coordinates, but that was wrong. All this time we should have used Sookie. What do you mean used? Instead of trying to lock onto the coordinates of Fuyaka's time stream by using Fuyaka herself in the time stream, we can use the information from Shookie's time machine. God, this is crazy. That's not functionality the time machines have right now. It's something my team and I can work on, for sure. However... What? There is a possibility that it won't work. You two might end up in time limbo, chasing after the location of these coordinates. Limbo? It's a vast, empty space and time where all you have to do is watch time pass around you in the darkness. You don't want to end up there. You'll soon go mad. Future Natsume takes a deep breath before rising. Take some time and think things over. Sookie, would you mind if I had your time machine? We'll need it for the... Oh, no. Sookie hesitates for a moment, but ultimately removes his watch and hands it to him. Thank you for trusting me, Sookie. I know it's hard, but... You're my brother. I'll always believe in you. Take your time to think. I'll be back soon. God, this has all gotten so sketchy. Who to believe, who not to believe, and what the hell are we doing? If we'd been honest with each other sooner, we could have figured this out long before now. Maybe Kiosk knew that. Maybe that's what he played on. He gambled on the fact that we weren't close and probably wouldn't tell each other anything. That's depressing. Yeah, but Eniu? Next time this sort of thing happens, I'll definitely tell you. This sort of thing? What, us having to save the universe? It does seem a little weird. Yeah, you never know when we'll have to do it again. I can just imagine what Masa would say to that. Sookie still doesn't know how to feel about everything that's been happening, but he feels the pieces are finally starting to come together. That, if nothing else, is a comfort to him. Oh, there's so many questions still. A few hours later, Sookie is sitting in the dorm common room watching TV when Masaharu comes up to him. Hey, get yourself ready. We have to go out. Why? Come on. The Come On Rider Marathon has just started. Mom and Dad called and they're back in Nagasaki for a visit, so they want us to go home and have dinner with them. Isn't you coming? Well... Masaharu scratches his head looking uncomfortable. That tells Sookie everything that he needs to know. Incensed even more by his parents' treatment of Natsume after learning all that Natsume has been doing to save everyone, Sookie pulls out his cell phone and calls his mother immediately. Hi, Mom, it's me. Is this one of those it's me scams? What? No, it's me, Sookie. Your son? Your pride and joy? Pride and joy? Oh, Sookie! Goodness, it's been so long since I've heard your voice that I almost forgot what it sounds like. Well, that's nice. What do you mean almost? You completely forgot. I'm sorry, honey. Anyway, you're coming to dinner tonight, aren't you? Only if Eniu's coming too. You invited him, right? He's the oldest. Don't you think it's kind of messed up that you called Masani instead? There's a sigh on the other line. I don't want to argue with you. Not after so long. Then tell me what I want to hear. Alright. Invite your older brother along. He's family after all. I'm going to tell him that you invited him. I mean, maybe if it wasn't such a frickin'... Oh, it still irritates me. Sookie hears a click and knows that the conversation is over. Mom's letting him... Why would she have to let him come to dinner? This is ridiculous. Mom's letting him come to dinner? Yeah, maybe she's coming around. I mean, usually she's a lot more stubborn about it. Of course, I don't think it's right that Mom treat Aniki the way that she does either. But, you know. I don't think we'll ever really be able to understand how she feels about Fuyaka's death. We're not parents. We've never experienced that kind of loss. So maybe you should... No. Sookie lost a twin. I understand that she lost a daughter. But you're all blood in the end. There should be no freaking harshness about the way that Sookie has treating his mother so far because of how she treats Natsume. That whole situation is just severely fucked. No, don't be accepting of it. Like, I understand she lost a kid, but still, you shouldn't treat your kid that way and blame one of your kid's deaths on the other, especially when it wasn't his fault. Oh, I get so salty. Are you going to tell him? Yeah, I bet he's asleep or something. I'll go get him. Oh, there's so much cool stuff with Masaharu that I wish you guys could have saw when I was doing all the extra stuff. Oh, it's so cool. So many awesome backgrounds. I really wish I would have been able to do more. I feel like it always happens like this with these games that have like multiple storylines and multiple endings. I always want to just like show you guys everything, but I can't because it's gonna take too much time. And this game really deserves to be 100% completed through somebody else's own experience. That's why I don't want to go back and change anything, because it would be such an insult to the entire game, and I really want everybody to experience it the way that it should be. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. I can't save over that one, but I'm gonna save over this one. That one was from the other thing. I'm currently on chapter 5 within the other universe, I should say, right now. These two right here, back in 10, because I had to do another save spot. But God, please, if you want to, there are so many other routes that you can take. You can be insanely friendly with Masaharu. Like, we could get along so much better. Like, in this universe that I am now with Sookie, it is the relationship with Masaharu is so strained, and in the other thing that I've been doing, it's not, and it's so awesome. And there's so many cool things that happen with Masaharu when you actually go out of your way to like just be with him and, you know, accept him for who he is and actually understand who Masaharu is. And there's also things that has to do with Natsume. Like, I've been taking such a bland route, and I'm so sorry for that. I wish I could change it. I want to do more. I don't have the time to go through every single memento, and I don't want to make these episodes extremely long, which is already what this episode is getting to. So, regardless of that, I really want to thank you guys so much for watching. I am going to end it here. We've gotten a lot of information. I really want to stress to you guys that there is going to be an extras episode that's going to showcase a lot of the extra cool things, but not until after we finish the game. So I really hope you're looking forward to that, and I hope you're looking forward to more of this as we go along. So, thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it. Please click that little subscribe icon right off to the side there, as well as the extra videos down below. That's going to lead you to some different content that I've created, the playlist for this series, as well as a playlist probably for Where We Are Seen, which is another Cyanide Tea game that you should definitely check out, if not through my playthrough, through the game itself, which is in the description below. So, I will see you later. Peace out.